All right, welcome everybody to the Japanese Grand Prix. Sorry for a little delay getting the stream going there, but we are live. We are ready to go. We have a first few laps set on the board. We have a couple retirements already. And, well, more importantly, we got myself, ISRL Knight, and ISRL Carter up in the booth. Carter, are you excited to be here in Suzuka today?
Absolutely. Rise and shine, everyone, especially our American viewers. It's got to wake up early for this one, but I cannot wait to see how these D3 guys are going to be able to get around Suzuka today. And as you mentioned, we've already got 2 retirements just on an outlap coming out of the pit lane. Is that a sign of things to come here in the race?
We had a very dramatic, we'll use dramatic to describe it, Division 4 race here. We had some huge crashes right ahead of Spoon, a lot of retirements, both in quali and the race in the S's. It is quite easy to hit the curb wrong there, so I'm not entirely surprised, because if you get loose in the S's on this track, there's not much runoff. You kind of hit the barrier, but it is, I think, maybe a little sign of things to come. With such a narrow track, such a technical circuit here in Suzuka, I would not be surprised to see a few of these drivers just making mistakes today, and we'll have to wait and see, eh? Now, you tried to list off a list of predictions right before the stream went live, and I told you to save them for on air, and I'd like to hear them now if you still remember them.
Yeah, I do remember. I said F1 Richie. I predicted might grab the win here. He's looking pretty good right now up there in P2. And I think pretty sure the other 2 guys I said aren't even racing right now. So go for maybe a quick one. Bumblebee with a pretty good P3 lap on the mediums, only about just under 3.5 tenths behind Sprunky. So I'm going to look for Bumblebee as well, and I know that the 2 Alpha Tauris woke up very, very early, and we're started to practice here at Suzuka a good bit before the race, so I'll be watching, as I seem to say every race, the 2 Alpha Tauris.
One sec, no, there's sound, okay. Okay, sorry, I saw 2 comments on our stream saying we had no sound, but I think it was earlier just while I was still getting the post set up and before I could start talking, but I think we're good now. Anyway, so I didn't mean to interrupt. Carry on.
No, it was, I said F1 Richie. I'm going to be looking at Bumblebee. He put up a pretty good lap time on those mediums, and as I seem to say every race weekend here in D3, the 2 Alpha Tauris, they woke up really, really early, got some good practice in, as well as Chilmo as well. So look for those guys to maybe a slight advantage on these guys as we see Monkeys go P7.
Decent lap for Monkeys there. We're seeing our, I mean, I think he can go a little faster than that, at least get in the mid-28s there. Top times right now, 127.248 from Sprunky. F1 Richie right behind him, 127.472, and then Bumblebee 127.5, but was that on the mediums? Or it was on the mediums. A good lap from Bumblebee there on the medium tires to get himself up into provisional P3. Cozy, 127.708. Now, if I pull up our standings here, we'll see how everything's kind of shuffled around after last week's race. Let's pull these out. There you go. So our current championship leader, I'm sure you've figured out who it is. He's the man in second place right now, F1 Richie, 178 points. So he extended that lead slightly after last weekend's race, him finishing in P2, Aizen P3, so Aizen's still got a solid chunk of points there. He's in P2, Aizen, 146 points. He is not qualifying in this session because he had a little off right out of the gates. Bacher, who had that win in Silverstone, got himself up into P3 for McLaren, 133 points, and then he's right ahead of Astunik, 122 in 4th place. Craigo, the other Ferrari in P5, 114 points. And then after that, you get that nice chunk of extremely close competitors there from P6 to, I mean, you could probably go all the way down to P12 here. It's covered by 20 points. Chris in P6, Cozy P7, Chilmo P8, Bumblebee P9, CJ Butch P10. They're all between 96 and 70 and 80 points, and you got Monkeys P11 at 79, Sprunky P12, 75, and then you kind of drops down the order there. You got your Renaults, your other McLaren, both, one Haas, both Alfa Romeos after. So, the tight grid there in that upper midfield. And you have your chunk of leaders there. I think Aizen and Richie and Bakker are going to be in a tight fight together. Bakker's got 40 points down on Richie. And you got a chunk of guys fighting for that third, fourth, fifth place. And then, that's a big off from Chill Mo. Is Chill Mo out there? Or did he manage to recover that car? Okay, so no DNF from Chill Mo, luckily. But that was a pretty big hit with a wall.
Yeah, we had a couple of drivers just as you were talking. Absent we had Hartman in the Red Bull, and then Stunek twice had a spin, collected a lot of gravel and dirt on those tires. Excuse me, and then and there went the car around, and he's done it again.
Yeah, it's once you get a little bit of dust and dirt on this track and you try to get going again because of all the turns, it's so twisty. If your tires in the rear especially are too lit up or they're too hot, you're just going to keep spinning. And I did that in a practice session myself, and it's quite easy to do even by mistake. So not entirely surprised to see some of these guys having some moments here early in Japan. And Monkey Mafia crossing the lane. He's going to go P11. So not a great lap for Monkey Mafia, but it is going to start him ahead of the guys who did not qualify.
And we've got still just 3 drivers who've yet to qualify due to Aizen and Maverick having those issues early. And one of them was a student who's on those 3-lap-old saw. So, having just a bit of trouble getting a decent time clean lap in. And the same goes for Chill Mo, but I think they're both going to stay out, or Chill Mo's heading into the pits, and he does have a little bit of damage on his front wing, so maybe didn't come out all scot-free after that incident he had earlier in the lap.
Yeah, maybe not. Craigo, I think, has not come out for a lap yet. I think he's got the mediums fit on, so maybe a bit of strategy planning from Craigo. Sprunky's out on another lap trying to improve. He's 4/10 up into provisional pole right now. And as he just finished through the S's, it looks like he's kept it mostly clean, has matched his first sector time from his previous lap. And trying to get down into the 126s here for Haas. And through the hairpin, taking a wide line through there, but you can carry a little bit more speed, which helps on the exit. And approaching Spoon there. This is where we saw a big accident in Division 4. And, yeah. Sprunky's had a drift. Can he save it? Oh, he almost kept going, but he's going to have to do a little spin move here. We've got Chris joining the session, so at least our guy in 6th place in the championship gets to get into the session. His teammate's having quite a good session himself there in P3. That's F1 Richie that we saw go by the stranded Sprunky. He's coming to finish his lap, I believe.
Yep, through the first 2 sectors, looked like a pretty good lap. It was going to have to see if Sprunky just hampered him just a little bit going through Spoon. What's the time going to be? He only gained about 0.2 of a second, and just not enough to topple Sprunky off of provisional pole. So with only 5 minutes and some change left, he's going to have to hurry back, get into the pits, and maybe go for one more lap. But time's running out for F1 Richie. But as we mentioned, every race weekend, I think he's yet to get a pole position still, and yet he's still first in the championship. So all's not lost for F1 Richie, even though he's not on pole. He's still second at the moment, so still all left for F1 Richie.
Yeah, and he's not. I think, who was that having a? Okay, never mind. I think it was just trick of the eye. I thought I saw somebody having a spin in the background there, but
even an AlphaTauri, there was a yellow flag and a stopped AlphaTauri somewhere in the S's. May have just been letting some drivers through.
Okay, that would explain it now. Who's approaching the line right now? I think Sprunky's going into the pits, so that would not be him. I think it's One Wing. He's going in the pits as
well.
Yeah, let's tune in on Monkeys as well. He's approaching Spoon. One Wing's retired from the session, but he's in the pits. I think he's just not going out for another lap.
He put up a really decent lap to get up into 6th place.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's going, well, you know what, I'm quite happy with that one, and no sense in using up an extra set of tires or anything like that. And retiring from the session there, Monkey's going through 130R here to the Castillo Triangle, and can he keep that car steady? I think he's a little bit down on his time there. He might have not pushed as hard yet. He's going to dive into the pits to go again. So Chris is heading out for a lap right now. Sunik's coming through the Castillo Triangle on a lap. He's going to go wide. So that's going to stop that.
Not sure if it's just a glitch for me at night, but it's showing a Stunik on 5-lap-old softs. Has he had to change his tires? Is it showing the same thing for you?
I think he might just be trying. I think he was trying not to set a lap maybe, and he's going to end up setting a 208 there. I think that might be why we saw him slow down as he missed the pit exit. He was probably trying to go in there and just got too caught up in his lap. Went straight through onto the main straightaway. Now he's got to kind of go the long way around.
Always Rick jumps up into 7th, just overtakes one wing. Was that Joseph Cozy going up into 3rd place with a great lap, and then Bacher just nips him by about 30 thousandths of a second. So it's Bacher P3, Cozy P4. Bumblebee's going to switch onto the soft tires. What do you think about that? He's sitting in 5th place. He was on the mediums in a good spot to start, but he obviously wants to go higher than P5.
Yeah, I mean, if you got yourself up in the top 10 on mediums, I would just start the race on them. Crago's just done a lap on the mediums. He's up into P10 with a 128.9. So maybe Bumblebee not happy with how the mediums felt and wants to start on the softs instead. But we'll see soon enough. There's a racing point starting their lap. I believe that's Chris. Behind him, Sprunky is starting his lap as well. So we're starting to see the last run of guys there on their final hot laps. Coming across, I think Bumblebee now. Yeah, he's on his hot lap. He's on the back straightaway there.
He's on his out lap. Bumblebee is.
Yeah. Was Rick behind him as well? I think nobody on a flyer right now. They're all on in-laps or out-laps. So let's try to find somebody who's actually pushing their car. That's Mo coming around 130R, but he's not pushing that hard, is he?
Bumblebee just started his lap. Sprunky was on a hot lap. As Ix goes up into P6, he was on a hot lap, but got his lap time invalidated. So he's got a minute 13 seconds to get back around to the line and maybe try one more lap.
Monkeys is
gonna be close.
Yeah, Monkeys is waiting to start his lap as well. So I think behind Monkeys, everybody is not pushing up until I think Chris is going to be the first man to cross line on his final hot lap.
Yep, joining into the session late, just able to get into his car and take control. He's going through 130R now, approaching the chicane here, which can be a lot more difficult than it seems. You get the wrong braking zone, the wrong apex into the turn. It could really hamper the second half of the chicane. Where's he going to go?
Chris goes P8
with 128.3.
So that's slower than his teammate's time on the mediums.
Yeah,
so,
and speaking of which, his teammate, he's on a hot lap on the softs right now.
Yeah, and coming through the end of Sector 2, he's 6/10 up on his time. Is this pole position coming for Bumblebee as he's getting to the Casino Triangle? He's got to keep it clean through the last chicane, and I don't know. Oh no! Bumblebee had the pole in the bag. He was 6/10 up on his time, and he just extends a little bit too much. Gets wheel spin coming out of the Casino Triangle onto the main straightaway, and he's got to pit that car. And still, that was a solid lap coming there from Bumblebees. There's some squabbling from the Ferraris, or they're both diving into the pits, I think. Crago's going for a lap. What is happening with the Ferraris? Neither of them. Crago has improved his time. And I think F1 Richie might have blocked him by accident, thinking his teammate was going to go in the pits.
I think that's exactly what happened. It maybe have hampered his teammate just a little bit. Doomsray 6/10 of a second up on his time going through the final chicane.
Monkeys goes P9. Doomsray goes P8, so pushes Monkeys down to 10th.
Waiting on Monkey Mafia and Hartman now. It's Hartman going through the chicane.
Chris is on his way into the pits. Hartman crossing the line, improves past Monkey Mafia, but not any further. And Sprunky crossed the line behind him, goes 126.5, so improves his time. But there's nowhere else than first to go for Sprunky, so Sprunky is going to take pole position here in Suzuka, and I thought for a second it was going to be Bumblebee, but Sprunky hangs on, improves his lap time afterwards, so it might have been Sprunky regardless of what Bumblebee set, because that's a great lap time from Sprunky.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, only man into the 126s with F1 Richie just about 7/10 behind him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Sprunky was gonna. Bumblebee was gonna put a 126 if he kept that pace up.
Absolutely.
But regardless of that, great lap time there from the Haas driver. Gets, and don't think that's his first pole position of the season, but it's tight behind him with Bacher and Cozy within 3 hundredths of a second of each other. Bumblebee P5, X P6. That's a good qualifying session from him. And yeah, Bumblebee, because he didn't set that lap on the softs, I guess to start on his medium tires in P5. And honestly, with the pace I saw him have there on both the mediums and the softs, yeah, I think that might be for the better. And I think we have a legitimate contender here. And I'll have to, my prediction, since we're in the loading screen right now, or not loading screen, but between the two sessions, Bumblebee on the podium. I'm just going to predict the podium. I don't care who wins, but I think I'm going to go Bumblebee, Bacher coming off of that incredible UK Grand Prix he had, and then F1 Richie, who's basically just our staple podium guy. You can't go wrong picking him for your prediction.
No, absolutely not. And if you were to predict where he might qualify, or actually where he wouldn't qualify, you'd have to say P1, as again, yet to get a P1 in qualifying, but he's going to be right there in P2 pressuring Sprunky. The two Mercedes not having a good qualifying, Aizen and Chilmo, as Chilmo gets disqualified. Not sure what that was all about, but yeah, Aizen was not able to set a lap time after crashing out early. Maverick, the same. And Craigo, a bit of unfortunate news for him is I think it was someone in the top 10 that just bumped him outside into P11 on those mediums. So I think that it might work out better for Craigo, but he'll get a free tire choice to start the race.
Yeah, I think Mo lost it coming out of the S's into Dunlop, and might have just got that car stranded, and while letting other guys by, got disqualified or something. He was running he qualified P8 before the final set of laps, though, so...
Ooh, it's very dark.
I don't know about, I don't know, Chilmo, what he was doing there.
Yep, and this is just up for interpretation, I suppose, but I don't know about you, Knight. Have you gotten any weather forecast? But just looking at the sky right now, it's a bit ominous looking. Is there going to be any drops of rain here, do you think, over the course of the race?
One Wing told us it was going to start dry. Whether or not it stays that way, we'll have to see. I mean, Jeff isn't always right either. Monkey Mafia in our chat with some monkey emojis representing himself clearly. The man knows what he likes. Can't blame him there.
That too. But what about ISRL Monkeys? Maybe a bit of inter-friendly competition.
We really need to start. We need to start predicting the top monkeys at the start of these Grand Prix. And today I'm gonna go with Monkey Mafia. I know Monkeys is in 10th, and he's also right behind the door that's behind me. And he could easily get mad at me for this prediction, but I'm gonna go with Monkey Mafia. I think I don't know why. He's the man in our chat. He's representing ISRL there on YouTube, commenting on his streams and everything. So he gets bonus points from me, and that puts him above Monkeys in my opinion. Sprunky, I think maybe thinking it was the star of the race because he's just absolutely gone on this formation lap, and that everyone behind him I think is going to go, well, all right, you want to race, you can race. I'm just going to take it easy here and enjoy this nice, relaxing formation lap. And then they're allowed. It's Sprunky's the leader, yeah, but you just got to hold a consistent pace on your formation lap. So if the rest of the pack behind you, yeah.
Hopefully he's not being shown that there was no formation lap, but more likely than not, as he hopefully nearly took a spin going through Spoon and goes wide there. So
He's
hopefully
warming up his tires, so I think he's
I think
just
he's
excited to get going.
I mean, my goodness, excited that's one way of putting it, going nearly a full straightaway ahead of these guys on the formation. So he'll be sitting on the grid with those tires cooling down, especially with the clouds in the sky. This is going to really expedite the cooling of the tires, if you will. And
Yeah.
these guys behind him must just have a huge smile on their face.
I mean, they're going to get a huge advantage, especially guys in the back there like Mo and Azen. We're going to be the last ones to queue up. Not a good qualifying day for the Mercedes by any means. They're both of them starting below P15. Your Amazon or AWS F1 Insights pit stop strategy. It's looking like a soft hard or a soft medium. Would not be surprised to see some of these guys stretching these softs out until they can kind of stretch out the mediums, though. So maybe a little bit of alternate strategies come in. And the field is queuing up here.
Everyone decided to join the party. Sprunky was just a bit early.
Yeah.
Gotta watch him on the start. There's going to be a bit of wheel spin out of the rear tires that might really hamper him going into the chaotic turn 1.
And as the final car lines up here, we're going to get ready for the lights. And should be any second now. In Japan, we're about to get going. And yet another pit stop strategy. Gotta love seeing that 3 times on the formation lap. But in case you missed it the first time around. And who are we waiting for here?
We go around the grid and see if there's a car ghosted at all. I don't see any. So not too sure what the issue is. There is a car kind of bobbing up and down, which is one of the racing
It's Chris having a jolly good time there. He's got the Russian heart bass blasting in the racing point.
He did join in late, so I'm not sure if that's causing any bit of issue to the server.
Could be. It could definitely be. I'll pull up their Discords here and see if anybody's yelling at somebody else. And
it usually tends to sort itself out after a few moments, but not a bad idea just to go ahead and check regardless.
So it looks like okay, so it looks like F1 Richie lagged out during the formation lap, and he's joined in, and it's I think that might be what's causing the issues here. It's up to Azen though if there's a lobby restart. So if there is, I think we'll keep the stream going and get everything set up again. I'm sure the fans are getting really anxious for the restart there.
I mean, absolutely. I would be losing my mind if the cars were on this grid for this long. But if that is indeed the case, we're going to have a restart. These guys will have to be on their honor system to pick the tires that they decided to head out on in Crago. Taking a bit of a gamble. The hard tires in P11, and honestly, that's not really a bad place to be in on the hards. And 3 guys behind him, though, One Wing, Monkey Mafia, and Hartman, all decided to go on the softs. 3 takers on the mediums, or actually 4, counting Bumblebee. That's Stunik, Maverick, and Chilmo. And then Azen was the other driver who decided to venture out and start on the hard tires.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat here, trying to figure out the situation. I think we might be in for a lobby restart here, but we'll wait and see till we get official word. Alright, and there you go. We got the division manager calling for the restart. Oh, and it's crashed my stream. Yep.